How's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Merry Christmas, everybody. And Merry Christmas to Orielly's. They always hook it up with a goodie bag full of stuff every single year, which is pretty cool. We're going to look and see what the contents are in this bag for this year. Last year they hooked it up with these precision screwdrivers. They're pretty cool. They come in handy for small things for sure. And they also gave me a headlamp, a calendar, and a catalog with tools and whatnot in it. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what they hooked us up with this year. So in the bag, that's all the contents for the bag. We got a beer koozie. Oh, that kind of comes in handy, doesn't it? Yeah, cheers. Pocket screwdriver. You can never have enough of these. These things are awesome from Orielly's because you can pull it out and it can be either a flathead or a small Phillips. So super awesome to have, especially if you have kids that have toys with small batteries that you need to gain access to. Super awesome to have. Let's see. Got a keychain, pencil, pen, pocket knife. Let's check this out. That's kind of cool. It's always nice to have a little pocket knife hanging around. Oh yeah. Be nice for like cutting apples, opening boxes, things like that. Yeah. Pretty cool. Catalog, toolboxes, diagnostic tools, timing lights. So that's pretty cool. What else? Day planner, if you wanted to plan out your days, make some notes in the back. And a hot rod calendar, which is always awesome. So thank you, Orielly's. Much appreciated. Let's put all this stuff up here for a minute. Something that I kind of thought would be kind of cool to do today, and if you think it's cool, stick around for the video. If you don't think it's cool, don't worry about it. But what I thought might be kind of cool was to introduce this special toolkit that I got for taking apart electronic connectors. Because here's an O2 connector, Chrysler as an example, and a fuel injector connector as an example. Sometimes the rodents chew these things down all the way to the bit. Sometimes these get melted so bad against the exhaust there's no wire left to really salvage, so you have to basically take it apart to redo it if you don't have access to another connector right away. I know you can purchase pigtails from Advanced Auto Parts, CarQuest, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa, etc. But should you have to take it apart yourself, there's a nifty little toolkit that can help, and there's a few other nifty tools that you might have already. So this is Snap-on part number TT600. It's a 6-piece set, but I did add a couple of Mac tools to it. I know, boo. But at any rate, I just found that this pick from Mac Tools happens to be one of the sharpest pointed picks that I've ever used or found, and I only have the one. The flathead that I have in here, it's just a mini pocket flathead that I've used the crap out of, and I like it because it fits perfect in here within the whole kit. All the plastic handles are pretty similar in nature. What it comes with is it comes with a pin vise, which I'll show you. That's this one here. Square probe, which is this one here. Wedge probe, which is this one here. A tube probe, which is this one here. A flat probe, which is this one here. And then a hook probe, which is this one on the end. So looking at the hook probe, you can see it's got a little hook on the end to hopefully hook the terminal and free it up. You'll also see the, let me show you the flat probe. It's a bit bulky, but it is a flat probe, kind of like a flat bladed screwdriver. Just throwing that out there. That's why I had the pocket one in there. It's a little bit thinner in comparison. You got the tube probe, so in case they're tubed terminals, you can use this to push and unlock and pull the wire out through the back of the connector, so that's kind of handy. The wedge probe, so in case you have to get underneath something and wedge it open in order to push the terminal free from the inside of the connector, you can. And then the square probe, which you just might want, which is actually big enough to push on the terminal itself without spreading the front portion of it, so that can be handy as well. This one right here I think is probably one of the most handiest ones for sure out of the entire kit, and this is the vice probe. And how it works is this: if you unscrew this, you get a few different gauges of like steel tubing. I will say extra thin, medium, and bigger. And basically you take one out, so I guess we should do that. I don't know why I put them all back in there. You take one out, let's just go with the medium one for now. Put the other two in here so we don't lose them. We start to thread this back on. We get the medium one out. And then we put it in the end here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got to screw this down a little bit more. A little more. There we go. Kind of find the center. Let's screw that in there. Oops. It's a little challenging, but there we go. Come on. Do I have it locked in there? I do. Okay, cool. So there, I viced it down. So now if I need to try to get in through a thinner cavity, I can with this. Granted, there's a lot of flex to this, so you can't put a lot of pressure behind it, but that's just to help you get underneath some of those hard to get to plastic retainer clips on the inside of the terminal to free them up. So I believe that's what that's for. Some other things that you can use that might benefit you if you don't have one of these kits. This is a flat hooked rod and then cut flat on the other end that I got from a windshield wiper. So there you go. You got your flat blade probe and your hooked probe. And you can actually pull these out of those basic style windshield wipers. They're awesome to have. So you might just get something like that. It'll help you. Also, if you found an old screwdriver, I've thinned this one down with the grinder, and I've created more of a point to it for other terminals that I had difficulty with. Some things you are going to want just some kind of generic pocket screwdriver, which comes in handy for lifting up this, oh, I used to know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I'm sorry. You guys can let me know down in the comments. I completely spaced it. But anyway, you'll see this little spacing underneath here on this side. On the other side does not have one. But if you get underneath that and you can lift up, that frees it up. This is to lock the terminals in place. You should be able to pull and pry this out gently, completely from the terminal, which I'm making an attempt to do. Sometimes you got to get underneath them. There. And then it's not hard to remember which way it went because of how its style is. But just kind of gently work it back and forth around the entire thing and then reinsert when you're done. Now I know you can't really see this too well, but down inside there we've got two little plastic retainers that are locking these terminals in. So we can use this special tool to get underneath here. Let me see if I can do this without blocking the camera too much. If I can get underneath it, which I kind of can, there's just too much flex for me to lift that up. So we're going to go with a pick. Let's try this wedge one first. Let's try the kit. Okay, the wedge one's going to be too big to get down in there, so that's not going to work for us. The square one, not going to work for us at the moment, but we might use that here in a minute. the flat's not going to work and the hook's not going to work. So we're going to need a pick of some kind. So I'm going to try to lift that lock up with this pick, which I can. Now, simultaneously, I have to push on this terminal. And I might have just released the lock. Let's see. Oops. Oh, there we go. I might have gone in too much. I did. Okay, so I'll try to push this wire up a little bit if we can. Come on, baby. She's just being stubborn. Alright, I'm going to have to jam it in there a little more. Okay, I think I do have it unlocked. Got to try to maintain pressure while pushing the terminal back in. There we go. Okay. So I just kind of put this against my bench, which I know you guys can't really see. But I just put it against the bench to maintain pressure on that. And you can see the wires protruding now through the back, and this little rubber insulator is what's holding it in there. So we'll leave the other one in for now, so that way we know what color wire goes where and how the terminal goes itself. You can see that there's the locking portion there. Now, in order to redo this, you'll have to take some kind of flathead and get in between the two pieces of metal that are pinching this little rubber weather deal thing here. I don't know what to call it. I know it makes it to where weathering doesn't get in there like water and whatnot. It's supposed to minimize it. Then we can slide this insulation piece out, and now you can see we have more access to more wire. So if it was chomped off back here, now we have more wire. Then all you'll simply do is use some kind of pair of wire strippers or a lighter if there's not enough on here, and you can actually just melt all this rubber off the old insulation off of the wire to where it's bare wire, and then using some solder, some flux, some heat, you can put the fresh wire across it, solder it in place, slide the little weather and insulator back down, use a pair of pliers, gently compress that back together, slide it back in. TPA, damn it, that's what that thing's called, TPA. Not sure why, but it's a retainer lock. So at any rate, you put that wire back in, slide the TPA back in until it clicks, and now you've got a good connector. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Look, I hope it helped somebody out there. Thanks again, Orielly's, for the Christmas present. Much appreciated. Again, find pocket flatheads, grind them down to your style. Old windshield wiper blade for a flat and a hook if you would like. The snap-on kit, I think it's pretty cool. It is handy for certain terminals, but not all terminals. As you can see, most of the terminals that I take apart is just by using a very sharp pointed pick like this and a very resilient pocket screwdriver like so. That's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. We'll see you next time. Deuces.